A new generation of trainers stands at the foot of a mountain. Up at the peak sits the thrones of 4 kings. 2 thrones sit empty, and at their feet is a wave of veteran trainers aiming for greater heights. Who will come out on top? Find out now on The Weekly RemARC! Hello everybody, you're listening to Weekly RemARC. My name is Dozer, and with me I have a guest this week. Introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Dan. I'm the guy from In Prison.
Yes, this is a special episode of Weekly RemARC as we're going over the last event card, so we decided it was appropriate to harken back to the old days and have 2 people on the show. With that being said, let's just go right into the announcements because there's a lot to cover. We're going to start off with the referral rewards. Gators has completed his 3rd week, so along with Abrandt, they have earned a plus power. Inventory HPs can be found on the roster tab of the ARC Hub. Also, a quick update from the GMs. The GMs are still in the middle of discussing your suggestions and new ideas, but the following changes will go into effect immediately. First off, we have DQ standardization. A disqualification is match loss, but that now also extends to best of 3 matches. If a trainer is DQ'd in any game, they forfeit the entire match. Championships cannot be won via disqualification. However, if the champion is DQ'd, they will be stripped of the title. There was also an IC title shot price reduction. The header says it all. The new cost is 38 IVs. There is changes to the Game Corner IV payout. We're scaling back the payouts just a bit, going from 13 IVs max in a week to 10 IVs max. The new payout table can be found on the GC forum and the rulebook. And finally, from the GMs, we have a Gust of Wind buyback going on. We don't get them all right. This sounded like a neat mini chaos, but it turned to be quite a terrible in application. We got lucky that the changes fell into place, but we can't hope to be that lucky moving forward. Therefore, Gust of Wind will be discontinued, and anyone who still had a Gust of Wind in their inventory has been given 18 IVs per Gust of Wind, which equals 1.5 times their original cost. Now, here's where the stuff gets really interesting, because we're looking at the road to Starcade. Starting off with the World Championship. Abrandt is the #1 contender and has an active title shot. Additionally, Choose also cashed in a world title shot. During week 7-3, Abrandt will battle Venge for the title. If Abrandt fails, then Choose will take his shot at Venge during 7-5. Abrandt would face the winner of that match at Starcade. However, if Abrandt wins the title during week 3, then Abrandt will face Choose at Starcade 7. And then, here's a big event going on. We have the platoons. Everyone else will be placed on one of 5 teams. The top 2 teams will face off at Starcade to crown the #1, 2, and 3 contenders for Cycle 8. Each team will have at least 4 trainers. Only the top 3 scores of each team will count towards team rankings. Of the top 2 teams, the top 3 trainers will face off in the ranked contender matches. Teammates will not face each other throughout Block 2, so help each other, because you need your platoon to win games so you can advance. You should also help each other make sure you get your matches done. Each platoon will get their own private text and voice channels so you can talk amongst yourselves. Feel free to come up with your own names. All teams and their respective channels will be dissolved at the end of the cycle. The current platoons are: for Platoon 1, we have Firegem, Reginanos, Sments, and I think the name is pronounced Zoivir. Platoon 2, we have Syracuse, Dart, Yours Truly, Hashok, and Shoops. Platoon 3 has A. Kelly, Max, Yui, and Vendetta. Platoon 4 has Brecker, Hart Wong, Na, and Otto, and then rounding it out, Platoon 5 has DanTheGamingMan, Marblefall, Sage of Mugen, Yopierre, and Shadow. In Platoon Wars, for the purpose of team rankings, all platoon trainers will be considered to have a 0-0 record. Points will be awarded the same, 2 times wins times win percentage. Bonus points earned moving forward will also affect your team's score. For the purpose of scheduling, your current cycle record will be used as normal. As stated previously, Platoon's score is based on the top 3 trainers' points, which gives you a bit of breathing room on a bad record or if someone needs time off. Remember, the top 2 teams move on to ranked matches, so you'll really only be aiming for the second place after 6 weeks. You'll notice that not all battles are team versus team. Some of you are fighting champions and contenders. Good luck with that. Remember, you can rename your team, just let an arcade know and they can rename your role and text/voice channel. And finally, the IC title can still be defended throughout this time, which can happen if someone cashes in for a title shop or if Yui starts performing badly over a few weeks. For the Dark Imprison Game Corner stuff, build up your IVs to help you in the Platoon Wars by battling in some dark matches. Remember, the Imprison target this week is DanTheGamingMan.
Hello.
And who is here, and the new Imprison race starts now. Game Corner will feature 5 picks, which is a first under this system. It is a new block, so everyone's score has reset to 0. Rushing through this ladder climb really quickly, Yui moved up to Ace Trainer, Gators move up to Youngster, Marble Fall moved up to Rising Star, Dart and Dan both dropped to Youngster, and I join as a Youngster. There are no tier shifts. The Dark Arena this week is singles, mix, and mega.
And I will go over Mix and Mega a bit more in Imprison.
Yes, make sure you go check out Imprison. Sorry, by the way, I never got that edited and out last week.
It happens.
It happens. So Dan, tell me about them battles and about all of these hidden powers.
There are so many hidden powers this week. So, starting it off, Abrandt and Otto both use hidden powers. Abrandt used a COV into Ubers along with a plus power, while Otto used a stance change to exchange electric for dark. And Abrandt actually managed to take home the win and the #1 contender. Both Venge and Dozer used plus powers in their title match, and Venge continued his hot streak, defeating the first challenger of many in the coming weeks. Sments used a stance change, exchanging water for psychic, which ended up helping secure his win. Dart tried to COV into VGC again, but it just does not seem to be working out for him as he takes another loss. While defending the IC Championship, Yui used a stance change, exchanging ground for fairy, and still holds the title. Hart Huang used a stance change, taking electric over fighting, but as their battle didn't happen, we will yet discover if it worked out in the long run. And effective this coming week, we have Choose submitting a world title shot, as explained, putting him next in line to face down Venge after Abrandt. Otto has used a stance change, exchanging his dark back to electric, returning to his original core. Size moved from doubles BS to VGC through a conversion, and stance change to swap flying for the much more important water type. And finally, Dozer used the stance change to swap dragon for dark in preparation for the next block. Last week's battles saw Yui defending the IC title versus Na in singles OU, with Yui keeping the title. Choose bested Vendetta in singles RU. Fire Gem beat Sai in singles Little Cup. Reggie took the victory over Brecker in singles UU. Marble Fall took their second win in a row over Max in singles UU. I fell to Hashhawk in singles OU. Mugen beat Dart despite the COV, and Sments managed to beat Gators in singles Ubers. And as mentioned, Abrandt managed to take the #1 contender rank in the bracket reset finals, using a COV and plus power to beat Otto and earn +1 bonus points. And finally, Venge earned another +1 bonus points from beating Dozer's title shot with his own plus power.
That was not a fun match for me. I mean, it was fun because Pokemon's fun, but otherwise not that great. And those bonus points are taking effect as we move over looking into the hierarchy here. We have Venge, of course, up top with a 7-0 record, completing a perfect Block 1 with a 100% win record, 18.25 points, and interestingly, a strength of schedule that is exactly 0.5. Abrandt following that up with a 5-2 record and 13.39 points. Yui just barely behind there with a 6-1 record and 10.29 points, followed up by Otto with a 5-2 record and 9.14 points, and Sments rounds out the top 5 with a 4-3 record and 6.57 points. What this means for our standings when it comes to Rise and Falls, that means Reggie, Fire Gem, and Marble Fall each took a big jump up. Reggie going up 6, Fire Gem 5, and Marble 4. Choose, on the other hand, only went up 3, while Hashok and Heart Wong went up 2 places. We had Na, Evo, Vendetta, Shiny, Tishian, and Complex all dropped down 1. Otto fell 2. Dart, Dan, and Max, that trio, all fell down 3 places. Gators dropped 4. And then Brecker and Pierre had a big drop with 5 placings each. Onto the Dark Hierarchy. Abrandt pushes Venge out of the top here, who is an Abrandt currently on a big 15-game win streak, by the way, in Dark, with a 21-8 record and 30.41 points. Behind him is Venge with 18-8 and 24.92 points. Smence in third there with an 11-4 record, 16.13 points, followed up by Otto with a 10-4 record and 14.29 points. And Yui rounding out the top 5 with a 7-10 record with 5.76 points.
And on the topic of the game corner, we had Max, Abrandt, and Evo, as well as Choose getting perfect weeks last week. Evo named the new game corner king at 82 points, followed by Smence close by with 81 and Abrandt with 78. And Otto ended up having the most spoiler points over the block at 85, followed by Not 45, and surprisingly enough, Venge at 43. The
I
IV
still don't
break.
know how that happened.
Apparently a lot of people had trust in you in that match.
That was their mistake.
So it would seem. Mm-hmm. The IVs see Max at top with 186, Evo at 171, Yui at 156, Abrandt at 126, and Choose at 123. Remember that there is a 200 IV cap, Max. You should probably spend some of those.
Yeah, and if you want to spend some of those, use them to try and get some records. But before we get into like some league records that have to deal with spending IVs, let's take a look at these game corner records. First off, the most points won in a block record is 60, which was 69 by Abrandt. Block after block, Evo and Abrandt fight to the finish to see who gets to come out with the crown. This block, though, Abrandt fell behind 1 week, enough to allow Smence to jump to the lead, and in the final week, 1 pick determined the new Game Corner King and the crown. Most points spoiled in a block, which was 50, set by Dan. Block 1 had ended with this record, now officially set at 85 spoiler points from Otto. Otto faced adversity in almost every round of the playoffs, only receiving his own specialty in round 1. Every single week, Otto was picked to lose as low as 2 people I tripped over myself there. Otto was picked to lose as low as 2 people to as high as 9. 41 total times. Otto won 5 of the 7 weeks and earned a total of 25 spoiled picks in the process. Most IVs won in a block, the former record 50 by Abrandt. Evo thought he was cool when he set the first record at 25 IVs, then sad to see it get smashed at 50 last block by Abrandt. Having 4 picks this block instead of 3 allows for bigger numbers, which Evo Man was able to use to take advantage and ended the block with 65 IVs. Most correct picks in a block record, 23 set by Orange quite a while ago. Spence and Evo ended the block with 23 right picks. This is the second time Evo hits 23 correct picks, but was previously edged out by Orange in percentage right and credits earned. This time around, Evo and Spence beat out Orange's record as they finished 23-5, and Orange had finished 23-6. Evo gets the last laugh over Spence, though, as he ended the block with 1 more point. So on tiebreakers, Evo gets the record. But 4 gamers have now reached the 23 correct club. On to dark records, the longest winning streak, 14 set by Abrandt. Well, it's a tough record to break, but someone had to do it. In this case, though, it is Abrandt himself who had to take himself down. The streak now stands at 15 games, and we'll keep a watch on it since it may snap at any moment. Most battles in a cycle, which was 29, set all the way back in like cycle 2 or 3 by yours truly, in a single block. Abrandt has tied Dozer's score for most battles. Let's hope the dark hype continues into the second block, and this can still be a race, as Venge is only trailing by 3 games. Most dark IVs in a cycle, which was 79 set by Abrandt, and Abrandt reached 80 IVs from dark matches last week. Venge is only 11 behind, but with so much cycle left to play, we can see Abrandt lose the lead. It will depend on which Abrandt shows up for the second half. And now on to the big thing, the league records. As we talked about earlier, the IVs spent in a cycle record, which used to be 84 set by Abrandt, and the tug of war continues as Abrandt spends another 27 IVs to retake the lead from Dozer. Abrandt ending this week with 135 IVs spent to Dozer's 27, but I just cashed in a stance change, so take that. Most bonus points in a cycle, which was 5.5 set by yours truly, and 3 weeks in the making, but Abrandt finally scored another win. This time, though, it was with the use of a change of venue and a plus power. He earned 2 bonus points, and officially has broken this record. Abrandt now has 6.25 bonus points, but the cycle is only half over. Can he, or will he, continue attempting to set an even higher bar?
Abrandt really taking a lot of these records with this tourney.
Yes, he is. You know, you go through a double elimination tournament and you come out number 1. You're going to have a lot of wins, and when you're using a change of venue and plus powers the entire way, that's going to be a lot of bonus points.
It is indeed.
And to keep using all those hidden powers, you need to scramble for those dark matches and get all those IVs you can. And the best way to get the most out of your dark match is to win it. So that's kind of the story of Abrandt right now. He's really gunning for Venge. I think he has a total with his contendership, the title shot that he bought, and I think he has another title shot ready as well. So up to 3 title shots for him trying to just take down Venge.
Reclaim that world championship he held so long ago.
He's so desperate to see Venge drop that he helped me out with my team against Venge, but we see how well that went.
Yeah.
Not very.
Half the battle is team building, the other half is Venge.
Yeah, and you can maybe win one of those, but it's really hard to win both of those. And like I say, a lot of Venge matches, especially in the title match, just comes down to building the right team. I've said that before, and I'll continue to say that. And if you don't call it right, you're going to have an uphill battle, and when that happens, that's how you just get whomped.
Indeed.
And on that note, Dan, do you have any final words to say about how this event card went?
Lots of people won that we thought would won, and, well, the journey to Starcade is going to be a long one yet.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where these platoons take everyone. I wish you the best in your endeavor this block, Dan, and I know for me it's exciting to be back in the battler seat. And with that note, I'm Dozer.
And I'm Dan.
And you've been listening to the Weekly RemARC. Make sure you go and check out our other episodes that'll be coming out this week. We should be having a Close Combat come out soon. And don't forget to check out Dan over on In Prison.
Get a target myself this week.
Oh, that's an interesting one, putting a hit out on yourself. Anyway, we'll catch you all next week for the Weekly RemARC. Bye-bye.
Fight well.